What is a flowchart? Are flowchart kind of questions very difficult? How to keep a track of the sequence while attempting the flowchart kind of questions in the listening module. So today's lesson is going to be everything about the flowchart kind of questions in the listening module. Hello everyone, this is your coach Priyanka Kapoor, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the flowchart questions of the listening module. But before we start, if you're the first time visitor to this channel, hit the subscribe button now and also hit the bell icon so that you get an intimation when we come up with the new lessons. If you like this video, don't forget to share it and hit the like button. So coming back to the lesson, today we are going to discuss everything about flowchart questions in the listening module. Now first of all, what is a flowchart? So that is the question which comes in everybody's mind who is planning to give their IELTS exam. Now flowchart questions are something wherein the information is given to you in a sequence. Now what do I mean by sequence? You will be given some blanks and the information to it will be interconnected. Now within these blanks somewhere they will mention the information and few places there will be empty blanks for you to look for the answer and fill it up in these questions. So that is what exactly the flowchart is all about. Coming to the difficulty level is medium to high. Now what do I mean by that? Flowchart questions definitely are not very easy ones, but when we talk about how difficult they would be, I can say that the difficulty level can vary from medium to high. So definitely they need a lot of practice. Now coming to the tips and the tricks of this lesson today, the very first tip is sequence. Sequence is very important. Now when I'm talking about the flowchart questions, as I mentioned earlier, there is a sequence which will be maintained in these kind of questions. So it is important for you to keep a track of the sequence when you are listening to the audio, because everything will fall one after the other. It is not going to be like, for example, let's say they first talk, let's say this is your flowchart. Then they mention some information and then again there is a blank. This is blank 1, this is blank 2, this is blank 3. Now what I mean by sequence is the audio will go exactly from the blank 1 to blank 2. Then there will be some information mentioned here. Of course there's no blank here, so we'll keep listening to it, and then there will be blank 3. They will not go like this, that first you hear blank 1, then 3, then 2. No, it will definitely be in a sequence. So rest assured, what you have to here do is focus and listen to it. Everything will come one after the other in the correct sequence. The next point is pay attention to headings. Now what do I mean by pay attention to headings? When you are given a flowchart, there will be a heading which will be describing what the flowchart is all about. For example, let's say this flowchart has a heading, Procedure of Admission in the College. So now you know that what you are going to listen to in this flowchart is everything about the procedure of admission in the college. So you can be prepared to listen to exactly what the heading says, and you can actually predict what is going to come in the audio. It is a great help because the time which you get to look for the questions and read them, once you read the headings in the flowchart kind of questions, it gives you a very fair idea that what is coming in the audio, and it makes your task a little easy. Next point is focus. Even if there are no blanks in between the chart, very much connected to this point as well, and even with the sequence. What do I mean by focus if there are no blanks? Coming to this example which I just mentioned, let's say you filled up the first blank, you got the answer, you have written your answer here, you got the answer to the second blank also, and you wrote it here. Now for a great time, there is already some information mentioned here and there is no blank. Now here what is important for you as a student is that focus here also, listen carefully even if there is no blank. Firstly, because we know that everything is in a sequence, your answer can be connected to something which they told you in the audio about this part, which is already mentioned in the question. So even if there are no blanks, please focus, listen to it carefully. If you're not doing that, there can be a case that you lose track of what the audio is saying and where you are exactly in the flow chart. So don't be little cautious. Even if you have answered the first two blanks and there are no blanks here and you feel that the answer still will take some time to come in the audio, still focus, because everything is in a sequence and connected, and you can lose track to your answer if you are not focusing even in the places where there are no blanks for you to fill. So that's important. Next point is predict. Read the questions and predict what the answer can be. This helps you a lot. It will even help you just in case you miss out on an answer and you have to guess it later on when you finish your test. So what do I mean by this is, when you read the question, what exactly is mentioned here and what you need to fill about, what you mentioned in the question here for which the blank is given. If you're reading these questions, you can actually predict your answers, that what the answer can be. So reading the questions can help you in prediction, and it makes you even spontaneous enough to actually look for the answers when you hear it immediately, because you already know what this question is all about, what the answer will be related to. Secondly, it will also help you just in case you miss out on the answer in the audio and you miss out, let's say for example, on the blank number 2. Now that you have given an answer here and you may find an answer to blank number 3 also, you read this question, and while reading this question you can predict the answer. It can be right, it may not be, but you can always give it a chance. So you will not have to leave any blank. Speed reading, very important. Now there are a lot of other tips which I have been repeating in my previous videos, which I'll not repeat here. I would recommend you to go to my very first video of the listening module, where I have mentioned few tips which are important for all the sections, all the parts, all the kind of questions of the listening module. So speed reading is equally important, because if you're reading fast, you are not missing out on time and you'll be able to cover all the questions quickly in speed reading. Now, how to do speed readings and what other tips you can actually follow in order to do better in your listening module, I would recommend you to go through all my previous lessons I have uploaded already on different parts of listening module. So that's it for today. This is what the tips and tricks and the strategies are which you have to follow in order to work for the flowchart questions of the listening module. I'm sure they're going to help you out. Practice more, and if you have any questions, please feel free to write in the comment box and I'll answer all of those. So I hope you like this lesson. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it right away and also hit the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video. Thank you for staying here. Stay tuned for more lessons.